How's it going? Welcome back, my wise ones, to a fantastic video today because we are discussing Lego Batman the game. Now, there's a few things I want to set straight with this video. This game is for a lot of unks out there. I'm joking. I don't want to piss off people. No, in all seriousness, there's not many Batman games, okay? And the Arkham games were pretty amazing when they did release, but that was quite a long time ago at this point. We're all looking for an open world Batman game, and if it's Lego, well, then, that's not gonna matter for some people, because this is taking heavy inspiration from the Arkham series, and because it is a Lego game, for fans of Lego games, it's a double win. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Shut up and take my money!
It might still not be enough for people who are not Lego fans. And there are issues with this game that people need to know, and people just blindly paying for this day one without actually doing their research. This is what this video is about. I'm going to discuss the truth about the Lego Batman game reviews and the Lego Batman review videos that are coming out very shortly. My own Lego Batman review is coming out very shortly as well, as I have actually got hands-on with this game. But there are some things that are just making me worried. Mostly it's the performance, okay? Unreal Engine 5 strikes again.
Your appearance is comical to me. I'm a nerd. So am I.
And this is probably the worst offender, and this is the perfect example as to why, as a gaming industry, we need to fucking boycott Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 is the worst game engine that's ever been released, in my opinion. I don't even like the look of it. I know some people think it's nice and shiny, the lights all look good, but it has so many goddamn disgusting artifacts. If you're like me and you don't like that kind of shit, I much prefer a stable looking game than a shiny glossy game, but a bunch of artifacts everywhere. And the performance on Unreal Engine 5 is just so terribly bad. And I don't know if it's game developers just not understanding how to optimize it, or the Unreal Engine 5 itself is just broken because it's too heavy and there's too many things that they just are not optimizing for, like with the lighting, everyone trying to utilize lumen, ray tracing, all of this bullshit. So it's a mixture of developers not using Unreal Engine 5 correctly, because some developers have. This engine is easy for developers to use without having to put time and energy into their own engine. And honestly, I prefer it when games have their own engine. They build their own in-house engine, like Capcom with the RE engine. Look how fantastic Capcom games run for the most part. And, it's just more unique. You get more unique art styles with game developers using their own engine. So with the little Unreal Engine rant out of the way, let's discuss Lego Batman reviews and what you actually need to know before playing this game.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice cup of tea, a nice cup of joe, whatever it is that strikes your fancy, and relax. Take a moment to like the video, leave me your thoughts down below on what you think about this game and Unreal Engine 5 slop, and subscribe to the channel if you want deeper game analysis, yearly reviews, early access reviews, and philosophical content. You're in the right place for objective thinking. Become a wise one today, join this fantastic community. I just want to quickly say I'm so happy to see this channel grow. Like, the returning monthly audience has like doubled from last year, and just having the community come back, like having the same people watch my videos, like, many people don't talk about this, but it means so much to me. And support me any way that you can by dropping a thanks or joining as a member, or by just checking out my music on Spotify. So I'm not going to dive into all of the positives and negatives, I'm going to save that for my review, but I'm just going to give you an overview of Lego Batman, as I have actually spent some good time with this game, and there's a bunch of other previews out there, so go watch them as well if you want, a nuanced perspective. But honestly, this is probably Lego's biggest, most serious video game. And I could kind of tell that the Lego games were heading in this direction simply because of their previous game, the Star Wars game. That was absolutely gigantic, and I was kind of blown away, to be honest, with just how much of a actual video game it felt like. And I don't say that, to knock on Lego games, But I am also kind of worried about the shift of Lego games, because for me, I grew up playing, you know, the classic Lego Harry Potter games, the Lego Star Wars games, you know, when they were split up into like 3 movies, I think each, or something like that, like the original saga and then the prequels and stuff like that. That was so good. And they were good because they were simple. They weren't bloated, they weren't massive, and, you know, they were just kind of, you played through the movies, you played through the story, that was it. But now Lego games today are trying to be these big, gigantic, mega open worlds, or in Star Wars' case, it was literally a connected galaxy, and that was very cool to see.
This is where the fun begins.
And I think kids playing the Lego games might be a little bit overwhelmed with just how much stuff there is, but perhaps that's a good thing. I just don't know. I just miss the kind of simplicity of the older Lego games, but I do feel that they are kind of targeting, like I said, the unks out there. But, you know, they are actually trying to appeal to serious gamers. That's what I'm saying. And to me, that's kind of weird, because the Lego games have always been a kid-friendly game, in my opinion. Personally, I don't really want to sit down and play a Lego game by myself, okay? You know, if I'm gonna play a Lego game, I want to play it with my significant other, I want to play it with a friend, with my family, or something like that, or, you know, with my nephew or my niece, or something like that. I wouldn't really want to sit down and play a Lego game by myself, though that's just me. I know some people out there are massive Lego fans. I actually do enjoy building Lego on occasion, but Lego have such a fucking monopoly now, and their prices are insane. And the cynical part of my thinking is just like, you know, seeing the Batcave, how much customization there is, how much collectible stuff there is. It's like, are they just trying to funnel people to buy, you know, these expensive Lego sets of Batman, because they've literally done a 1-to-1 scale. And the cynical part of my brain is thinking, do we actually need a bloated Lego game?
I'm a nerd. So am I!
But then I look at it from the other side and, you know, think, okay, if I was playing this as a kid, I would be blown away, because this feels gigantic. And also, because it borrows elements from the Arkham series, it also is crazy to me, because this almost feels like an Arkham video game, like a sequel to the Arkham series, but everything's in Lego. And if that doesn't bother you, if you don't care about things being in Lego, you know, not actually having real violence or much challenge in a game like this, and you just want Batman fun, and you want the same kind of gameplay that the Arkham games gave you, well, this actually does that, which is kind of crazy to me. They've literally modeled the combat 1-to-1, basically, from the Arkham games. So there's a stealth system, takedowns, of course, parries, you know, and you have to time your attacks and stuff like that, disarming the enemies, jumping over the enemies, counterattacks, all of this stuff, very familiar stuff, you know, hiding in vents. It's literally 1-to-1 copied from Arkham. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Obviously, that was the best Batman games we ever got. It would have been nice to see them innovate or do something a little bit more different, add some more Lego DNA to this, because that's what I'm kind of missing. The older Lego games, there was a lot of building. The newer Lego games, like, it mixes in Lego with real world, you know, game environments that look like real life. You know, assets like the floor that doesn't really look like Lego, the city doesn't really look like Lego. It's just got Lego elements. And I don't know, I just feel like the Lego games are kind of missing something today.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
So let me just quickly say that I do think that the Lego Batman reviews are going to be positive all across the board, because this is Batman we're talking about, and it's the biggest love letter to Batman that we've ever seen, ever. So I think people are going to swallow this up. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy the Arkham gameplay, and they're going to feel nice nostalgia for that game series as well. There's a lot of good side activities in this. It's a sprawling open world, if you're not aware. It's Gotham City, completely open to you, and there's actual side stuff to do between the missions, between movies, comics, and all of the Batman material that it is trying to cover in a like actual narrative sense, but it's trying to bridge it all together to make it a connected story. I think that's such a clever way of doing it, and I really do like what they're going for. They've still got the Lego humor in here, and the open world, like I said, has a lot of activities. You can do racing, there's active crimes that you can just go and stop and get, you know, XP for that. And then get rewarded for that. There's actual upgrades for your gadgets. other characters have their own special abilities and mini games tied to them, like hacking mini games, their own upgrade tree when it comes to their tool set, and how they fight is actually different. Combinations of attacks, you know, cool takedowns. Like I say, it feels like a proper video game, not a Lego game. And there's even difficulty modes now. You can actually tweak the difficulty, so for the first time it actually does have some consequence, but still this is a Lego game, so you know, set your expectations. Batman Arkham was already piss easy. I'm sorry, but it was. Like, all you have to do is counter. But this is even more easy. But at least it gives adult players something to go for. But I feel like this is truly targeting a different type of audience compared to the other Lego games. But it does have a lot going on in the game. The world itself is gigantic, absolutely gigantic. So many secrets to discover, but it's all the classic Lego gameplay tropes. You know, you're exploring the world, but what's actually out there? It's a bunch of collectibles. That's what you're doing. You're collecting stuff and then doing mini games, you know, like racing across the city, like, you know, doing these kind of platforming challenges, gliding across the city, saving people, unlocking characters, unlocking different costumes. It almost reminds me of the Spider-Man games recently. So it does have a good amount of, you know, dopamine hits across it. None of it is exactly deep, but it is fun side activities to engage with.
Goddamn right.
But now let's talk about the drama, the controversy around this game. That's why I wanted to mostly make this video before the reviews drop and before my Lego Batman review comes out as well. But this is Unreal Engine, and I already did kind of rant about this to begin with, but I don't think people truly understand how fucking terrible this is. The game is not ready for release, okay? From what I've played, from what I've seen as well, from other press and outlets and stuff like that, the game runs like absolute dog turd, okay? It's not ready. For system requirements, if you haven't seen them, like, a lot of people are just, you know, maybe you're not as into the gaming industry as like we have to be for our, you know, jobs, but if you look at the specs and people are just pre-ordering this is going to be optimized pretty well for consoles, but even then it's going to have dips. But for PC, the system requirements are absolutely insane. Why are we targeting? Why? I mean, I'm sorry, but this really does make me go fucking quite insane, because it's everything that's wrong with modern day gaming. I'm excited for this game. Don't get me wrong. Don't get my anger as, like, you know, hating this game or anything like that. You have to understand how ridiculous this is. This is a Lego game. It's not supposed to be graphically realistic. It's not trying to be hyper realistic. We don't need hyper realistic actual lighting bouncing around like the real world. We don't need, you know, complex textures across everything. This is a goddamn Lego game, and the performance is suffering because they're trying to chase, again, hyper-realism almost, you know, a fixation on the best possible graphics that we can get, and it hurts the game dramatically. There's so many stutters in this game, slowdowns, performance drops. You can see it in the footage, surely, as well. My editing might smooth it out a little bit, but it's honestly a sick joke that this is what the industry has turned into. Instead of, you know, caring about art style, we're just forcing this goddamn bullshit, crazy obsession of chasing high quality graphics beyond anything else, and it hurts the actual game itself. That's simply ridiculous to me. There's no reason that this needs, you know, frame generation to target like 30 FPS or whatever the fuck it says, like even a base 60 FPS. It's a joke, okay? And I have to talk about that, otherwise I feel that I'm just lying to you. And a lot of shields will just say, no, it's great and it runs perfectly, but that's just not the case, okay? At least as of now, okay? As of recording this. Saying all of that, will Lego Batman reviews be good? Will they still praise the game? Yes, of course they will, because this is Lego, this is Batman, you know, you can't really go wrong. And if it wasn't for the performance issues, then I would say that yes, what they have done here is impressive, and it is, you know, shaping up to be like the biggest Lego game there is. There's a lot to love here. The driving actually feels good from what I did see, and the combat is good. It does truly feel like an Arkham game, so all of it is positive. There's not really much negatives here, except for, you know, maybe the combat being a little bit simple, the bosses and stuff like that, but then it feels weird to critique these elements because it's a Lego game. And that's where I feel kind of weird about this, because it's a Lego game, usually you don't care about this kind of stuff, but because also now it's trying to be like a proper video game, a proper Batman game, and they're doing all of this stuff, it's just a weird situation, I feel. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, my wise ones. I'm always curious to know what you think. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Subscribe if you're new. Have a blessed day, and peace out.